Okay, good afternoon all. Now, today's lecture is somewhat difficult. No, it's not difficult. It's interesting. Okay, in today's lecture, we will see how to create the dashboards, how to create the storyboards, how to create the interactive dashboard, what is the difference between the static dashboard and the dynamic dashboard, everything we will cover. Okay, now these are the most important things in the Tableau, that how to maintain the KPI, how to choose the KPI, what will be the impact of KPI on the conclusion, what will be the impact of KPI when we are using the chart, what will be the impact of KPI when we are using or presenting dashboard or storyboard or anything. What is KPI? That is also important. We haven't gone through what is KPI. This is the time where we are trying to address how to conclude our data set, how to choose the different chart, how can we choose the particular grain, what is the power of the grain, and what can be done with the help of data we are having. Now let us start. Okay, this is the NASA data set, and this data set is having huge amount of things about the stars, their orbits, their revolving around the earth, revolving around the self, what is n star, what is n planet. There are multiple informations included regarding stars, planet, their orbits, etc, etc. Now as you are able to look on the screen, this is the screen which shows n star and n planet. Now n star and n planet are both the columns with the help of which we will try to conclude, or we will try to enhance or conclude anything. Okay, now this is the n star. Let us try to identify how many value it's having, or in ascending it's starting from 1 as you're observing, able to see, and in descending the value is 3. It means the ranges of n star is from 1 to 3. Now in n planet, ranges ascending order, lowest value is 1 and the highest value is 5. Now n planet ranges from 1 to 5 and n star ranges from 1 to 3. Okay, now let us try to identify a grain and a chart as well. Okay, the first grain chosen is DEC count. Okay, now you are able to observe this is DEC bin. My x-axis is DEC bin and my y-axis is count of DEC. Now for x and y, both the axes I am having, or I am considering a parameter, just a parameter I am considering for. Whenever I am considering a single parameter for my calculation, then it's, or the chart suitable for presentation will be histogram, and the chart you are able to see on the screen is histogram. I will repeat, whenever single parameter is considered for entire calculation, entire representation, in that case histogram can be used. Okay, in my case just a DEC is considered. DEC is in my x-axis, DEC is in my y-axis, and the count of DEC is my grain. So it's revolving all around the DEC count. Okay, this is one. These are the two columns in my data set. One is DEC bin, as you are able to see in the columns. One is DEC bin and another is DEC count of DEC. And as a parameter is considered, histogram is used for representing a particular thing. First grain, is it clear? Shall I proceed? Anyone? Please respond. Or in case of query or confusion, you may ask the questions. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the first grain is DEC count. Second grain is, we will wait for a second. Okay, the second grain is planet type and planet name. Planet type and planet name. All the data is revolving around the planets. Planet type, planet name is considered, and sum of planets is also considered for calculation. But before proceeding further, I would like to clarify what is the difference between the static dashboard and dynamic dashboard. Before moving to the static dashboard and dynamic dashboard, we must be able to identify difference between the static chart and dynamic chart as well. What is static chart? Static chart is a chart with the help of which if you are changing something or the changes are not possible. I will repeat. Static chart is a chart where we are presenting something and we are not verifying the changes on the basis of calculated field. These type of charts are termed as static chart. For example, if I want to show the previous year grades of years, then I will use static chart where no changes are required, no changes are possible. In that case, static representation. What is mean by a dynamic representation? Dynamic representation is exactly revert to the static representation. Dynamic representation is a representation with the help of which we are able to represent a chart with certain things. Firstly, we will choose a grain. On the basis of chosen grain, we will represent a chart. Okay, on the basis of chart, we will have certain things or certain calculated field. Now, with the help of those calculated field, we will try to mark out the result. We will try to mark out the change in the result. And that's why these types of charts are termed as the dynamic charts. Okay, now let us move forward. I will repeat. My grain is planet type and planet name. For identifying this grain, I have chosen the columns planet name, planet type, and some of the planets. And some of the n stars I have chosen. Okay. Now the chart you are able to see on the screen is bullet chart. Now I will explain when to use bullet chart. When we are setting our target prior and on the basis of the set target, we are trying to identify the things. The change in the target value we are trying to identify. In that case, we will use the bullet chart. Okay. Now I haven't just chosen the graph. I have chosen the calculated field as well. I hope it's not visible in your case. Okay. I have created a calculated field. Okay. Just a minute. I will share my screen once again. I have to share my screen with now. I hope that calculated field is also visible. Now this is the calculated field which is representing the two columns. Okay. First considered column is n star. Another considered column is n planet. Okay. As we have observed before, n planet is having the maximum value 3. N star is having the maximum value 3 and n planet is having maximum value 5. So I have marked the condition with logical AND. If n star's value is less than 3 and n planet's value is less than 5. If both the conditions are true, then only it will show for the normal. Otherwise, in other cases, it will show below or excellent and it will end. This is the syntax. Now, if I will drag and drop this calculated field in colors, then this tab will get open. Okay, the tab is showing two colors. Why there are two colors? Because with the help of calculated field, I have created only two answers are possible. One is normal and another is below or excellent. Okay, the orange color is for normal and the blue color is for below or excellent. Now, this is the target value, that is average n stars is equal to 2. This is the bullet chart. Okay. Once I have dragged and dropped this calculated field in the label, I have dragged and dropped that, and that's why it's showing below or excellent. This tab is showing. Why? Because I have dragged and dropped this calculated field in label. Now, I have dragged and dropped this calculated field in size, and that's why it's showing the bullet chart field, and least impact is on below or excellent, and larger or greater impact is on normal. As you are able to see the variations, this is small and this is large. Why this tab is coming? I have dragged and dropped the calculated field created in size. Okay, now we have gone through why the grains, why we are creating a calculated field. Why grains? For selecting the patterns from the data set we are having. Now the second thing, why calculated field? Calculated fields are created for observing the result dynamically. Okay, what is dynamic representation and what is static representation? Static representation, in static representation we are not observing any kind of changes, but in dynamic representation we will try to observe the changes on the basis of dragging and dropping certain columns in filters, dragging and dropping certain columns in pages, dragging and dropping certain columns or the calculated fields in marks section. And we are trying to identify the impact of calculated field or filters or pages on the grain we have chosen. Okay. Now there is one more thing I would like to add is why chart? Chart is there for representing a data in pictorial format. Now there will arise a question in your mind, why pictorial format? Pictorial format is necessary whenever we want to represent huge amount of data with certain or one go. Okay, certain purposes, certain ranges, certain patterns, certain identifications can be shown with the help of graphs or charts. Now we will try to analyze. This is below or excellent and rest things are normal. And this is the bullet chart. Okay, now we have gone through Y chart, we have gone through Y grain, we have gone through what is the necessity of the calculated field, what is dynamic dashboard and static dashboard, static chart. Now let us try to recognize, or let us try to create a dashboard. Okay, what is dashboard? Firstly, a dashboard is combination of several charts. Okay. Okay. Whenever I want to create a dashboard, this is the tab with the help of which we are able to add a new dashboard. Once I will just click on that, dashboard will appear. Now the charts I am having will be at the left hand side. I have to just drag and drop the chart which I want. So these charts will be represented in my dashboard. In my case, my first dashboard is dashboard for DEC and planet. Okay, the dashboard is DEC, which we have already covered. Okay, which type of chart it is? It is the histogram. Why histogram? Because we are trying to represent, or we are trying to compare a data which is considering a parameter for calculation. Which parameter we are considering for DEC? What is DEC? DEC is a parameter which we are calculating for our calculation purpose. Okay. And for calculating this DEC count, we are considering two columns. First is DEC bin and another is count of DEC. As a parameter is chosen, it's shown with the help of histogram. Now this is the bullet chart, and all the two we are representing in a dashboard. Now why dashboard? Dashboard is combination of several charts. Why chart? Chart is pictorial representation of grain we choose. Okay. Now why dashboard? With the help of dashboard, we will be in a position to conclude certain data. Okay. With the help of this dashboard, I will be able to conclude the certain things about DEC count and the planet type and planet name. Now, I will repeat. My first dashboard is for concluding the two grains. First is DEC count and another is planet type and planet name. Okay. Now, let us move for the second dashboard. Now, before moving the second dashboard, I will repeat once again. Grain is used for pattern identification. Okay. For the grain chosen, we are expected to represent certain kind of chart. Now, why chart? With the help of chart, it is possible for us to identify pattern variations, and that's why chart is chosen. Large amount of data can be represented with one go. Huge amount of patterns can be identified in one go, so the data set is big. Okay. Now, in this case also, the grain chosen, third grain I am choosing. Previous two grains where first grain was regarding the DEC count, the second grain was regarding the planet type and planet name. Now we are considering the third grain, and third grain is, as you are able to see, planet Earth and masses on the basis of orbital period. Planet Earth and masses on the basis of orbital period. Now, these are the color variations. Now, these color variations are identified on the basis of orbital period CAT. What is this orbital period CAT? If you are able to see, this orbital period CAT is one of the column in my data set. Okay, on the basis of which variations in colors are identified. When pie chart, or when to represent certain data in pie chart, when to choose pie chart, when I want to represent or I want to display the changes around or the percent of change, means if I want to identify a piece, percent of change of certain piece with respect to entire data set. I will repeat. When to choose pie chart? When I want to identify a category or percentage of change of certain piece with respect to entire data set. Percentage of change with respect to certain piece with respect to the entire data set. Then we will represent certain data set with the help of pie chart. When we want to calculate or show the percentage of certain piece with respect to entire data set. Okay. Now, sum of planet radius is also calculated, and this is from least to greatest, and that's why this variation is shown, and I will repeat it once again. My grain is planet Earth and masses on the basis of orbital period. Now, on the basis of orbital period CAT, this is the column in my data set, and these are the color variations which are shown. Okay. And why pie chart? Pie chart is used to observe the certain percentage or certain contribution or certain amount of contribution of particular part with respect to the entire data set. Let us move for the next. Next type of chart is stars and star types. Okay, I will stop till the screen changes. Okay, now the next grain chosen is star and star types. In this, we are trying to identify the patterns of star, the types of star, and that's why I have chosen all the columns regarding the stars. The star age, the star mass, the star metallicity, the star radiation, the star surface gravity, the star temp K, and the star Vmax. All the columns I have chosen, and as you are able to see in the right hand side, the color variations are represented on the basis of star type. Okay, for example, blue color is for A type, the orange color is for B type, the red color is for F type, and so on. Okay, now this particular amount is representing, right? Because I have dragged this star age and dropped in the marks, in the labels. Okay, I will repeat. I have dragged this particular column star age and dropped in label. That's why these ages are represented in the stacked graph. Which type of chart it is? It is a stacked graph. Okay, as you are able to see, these are the null values. Just click on this. I have just clicked on the null values. I will wait till these are reflecting. Okay, I have clicked on the null value. Now it's showing the filter data. I will just click on the filter data. I will wait till the changes are reflected at your end. Okay, I will just click on that filter data. Now these null values are disappeared. Okay. Now as you are able to see, K type is represented with green and M type is represented with K type is represented with green, M type is represented with yellow, and this is the stacked chart. Now I hope both the charts are clear, pie chart and stack chart. Once again, we are moving for the dashboard. This dashboard is the combination of two parts. As you are able to observe, the name of the dashboard's name is Planet and Star Dashboard. Okay, first grain chosen is planet Earth and mass on the basis of orbit period, and second grain chosen is star and star types. Okay, the variations of star and star types are shown here, and on the orbital period and the color variations are represented in this tab, and this is for planet radius, which is the details of first chart. This is dashboard. Why this can be termed as dynamic dashboard? Why? Because we are trying to identify the changes on the basis of filters applied, on the basis of calculated field. Okay, now we are moving forward for creating a storyboard. Now I will repeat what is grain. Grain is certain thing or a piece of the information with the help of which pattern identification is possible in our case. That is grain. What is chart? Chart is pictorial representation of the grain we are choosing or the data set. Okay. What is grain is clear. Pie chart is clear. What is dashboard? Dashboard is a collection of several charts we are having. Okay. What is storyboard then? Storyboard is a collection of several dashboards we are having. Then there will be a question in your mind. What is the need of storyboard? Storyboard is required in which case? When we want to conclude certain amount of dashboards, when we want to create a sequence of conclusion on the basis of data set we have chosen, on the basis of grain we have chosen, chart we have chosen, and in that case the storyboard is required. Okay. As I explained before, first chart in my case was DEC, and if you remember, I have told you that DEC is a single parameter which is treated on x-axis and y-axis both, and that's why it is represented with the help of histogram. To use histogram when a parameter is used for representing certain chart. This is the bullet chart. Bullet chart is the pictorial presentation of planet type and planet name. Why we have used bullet chart? When to use bullet chart? When to use bullet chart? The answer is whenever we are setting certain target and we are trying to verify all these things with the help of target we have chosen. In my case, the target set is on the basis of data set. Okay, that data set is representing the average amount of n stars, and average amount of n star is calculated with that data set, and the average threshold is decided with the help of values on the column, that is automatically decided by the tableau. Okay, and this is the bullet chart presentation. And for the, as I have mentioned you before, for verification, for representing these labels, I have created a calculated field and I am trying to observe the changes on the basis of calculated field I have created. This is the dashboard in my case. This is the first dashboard, and my first dashboard is representing or concluding the data regarding planet, stars, and DEC count. Now let us move for the second dashboard. My second dashboard is representing the planet, star, and DEC count. It's not actually a DEC count. It's representing a planet, star, both. Okay. Now, first grain chosen is planet Earth and mass on the basis of orbital period, and the chart chosen is pie chart. Now, this is the stack chart. Now, the stack chart is presenting the star and star types. Okay. And this is the sequential presentation of the DEC and planet and stars. Okay, this is the sequential presentation of DEC and planet count, planet and star count, or star variation of stars, star types. All these are easily concluded with the help of this particular storyboard. Now I want to conclude my storyboard, but before concluding my storyboard, I would like to give more emphasis on KPI, as I mentioned before. What is KPI? KPI is key performance indicator. What do you mean by key performance indicator then? What is key performance indicator? Key performance indicator is chosen on the basis of, firstly, we are having a data set. On the basis of data set we are having, we will identify a particular grain. What is grain? I have already mentioned. We are trying to identify, or we are trying to look for the patterns on the basis of certain things. Okay. Now, what is KPI? KPI is trying to identify measures. Now, why measures? Why not dimension? As I mentioned you before, dimensions are represented for calculations of qualitative analysis. We cannot identify the quantitative analysis with the dimensions, whereas measures are dedicated, or with the help of measures, the quantity can be calculated. I will repeat. With the help of measures, quantity can be calculated. And that's why measures are chosen for KPI, key performance indicator. Now, what is KPI? Why there is need of KPI? With the help of KPI, we can set certain targets. We can verify whether these targets we are able to achieve or not. That is possible. That is one thing. And so second thing is, why there is a need of KPI? With the help of KPI, we will be able to identify the variations on the basis of the chart we are choosing, or the values we have chosen. For example, I have set n stars and n planet. These are my key performance indicators. I am trying to conclude my data set on the basis of n stars and n planets. Then what is the key of my data set, or what is the what will be I conclude on the basis of my data set, on the basis of grain I have chosen, on the basis of chart I have chosen. I'm trying to verify the n stars and n planets, means the performance of stars and planets I'm trying to verify. And that's why KPI in my case is stars and planet. And I will conclude my data set on the basis of these stars and planet. Okay, that's why KPI in my case is stars and planet. On the basis of two KPI I have chosen, I will conclude my entire data set. Why KPI? I will repeat. KPI is key performance indicator. On the basis of this key performance indicator, I will be in a position to choose to conclude my data set. On the basis of the columns, I will give importance to certain columns. On the basis of the measures, and for uh, which column I will identify, or I will give the importance to measures. I will not give importance to dimension. Why to measures? Why not to dimension? Because with the help of measures, I will be able to identify the patterns, and I will be able to analyze certain figures. Which amount is increasing? This amount is increasing with this percent. This amount is increasing with this particular fixed value. And that's why for choosing or for analysis, we will identify the measures. We will not identify the dimensions. Okay, this is key performance indicator. Okay, I have chosen stars and planets as key performance indicator. Okay, I have chosen and I have applied a condition. On the basis of applied condition, I am trying to verify if the condition is satisfying, then it will give me a certain result. If the condition is not satisfying, it will give me a certain result. Okay, done. And that's why KPI is most important thing. Why KPI? KPI is key performance indicator, with the help of which certain threshold can be set, certain values can be verified, and on the basis of these verified values, we will be in a position to conclude our data set. And that's why you all have to set certain KPIs. You are expected to create dynamic dashboards. I will not expect the static dashboard. Okay. Now that's all from my side. You are open for any query or question. Was my voice clear? Yes,
Yes,
anyone?
ma'am.
Okay. Have you understood? Okay. Tanmay raised the hand for certain things. Tanmay, are you having any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then shall I consider all of you have understood? Shall I repeat it once?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will repeat the entire part once again. I will wait till the screen reflects the changes. Don't worry, I am having the site, or I have saved this particular task, and I will share this with you all with the data set I am having. You will try to observe. Okay, you will try to just visualize. You will not be in a position to edit. I will not give you the edit right, but surely I will share the sheet with you. Okay, this is my data set. Now my data set is, I am considering n stars. N stars minimum value is 1 and maximum value is 3. N planet minimum value is 1, maximum value is 5. Okay, now my data set is regarding the stars, regarding the planet, regarding their orbital axis. Okay, now I am having this data set with me. Okay, now I have selected a DEC pin. That is a column I have selected DEC pin and the count of DEC. But both the columns are different, but parameter is same, as I am considering a parameter for x-axis and y-axis both. I have selected histogram. When to select histogram? Histogram is selected when we are trying to verify the change in result on the basis of a parameter we have chosen. That's why we will represent a data set, or we have represented a grain on the basis of histogram. What is my grain? DEC count is my grain. Up to this, is it clear? Shall I proceed? Is there any query or question? In case of query or question, you may ask. Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us move for the next grain. The grain is planet type and planet name. I will repeat. Grain chosen is planet type and planet name. Okay. This grain chosen, I am having the 4 columns. First is sum of planets. Second is planet type. Third is planet name. And another is n stars. These 4 columns I am considering for. Okay. The chart chosen for this grain is bullet chart. Why bullet chart? Bullet chart is chosen whenever there is a data set which will identify certain particular threshold or target target is set, and we are trying to identify the data set change or the variations on the basis of threshold or target set. Okay, now this is the bullet chart representation, but for doing all these things I have a calculated field. On the basis of calculated field, I am trying to verify the results. Now, 2 columns are considered for calculated fields, n stars and n planets. As we have already gone through the n stars, the biggest value is 3, and n planet biggest value is 5. Okay. I have given a condition which is logical function in Tableau. Okay, and logical and I'm using. What is job of logical and? Logical and is display. Logical and displays the result as true when both the conditions are true. It will not represent a result as true if a condition is true. Okay, in my case, both conditions are true. That is also the case. If both conditions are not true, will represent or it will go to the else part. In my case, both the values we are able to identify. Okay, and that's why we are observing the result on the basis of calculated field we have created. Okay, now I have dragged and dropped this calculated field in color. The expected result will be in the form of two variations. One will be the normal and another will be the below or excellent. In both the cases, the result is identified. One is shown with the help of normal, another is shown with the help of blue, that is below or excellent. If the condition is true, it will display normal. If the condition is not true, then it will display below or excellent. As you are able to observe, both the values are there, below or excellent and normal. When we will scroll it down, we will be able to identify there is below or excellent and normal as well. And the threshold set is n planets, average is 2. Okay, and I have dragged and dropped this calculated filtering label. That's why these labels we are able to observe for when I dragged and dropped this calculated field in size, and that's why this particular type of window it's showing. It reflects that the minimum impact of the calculated field is on the below or excellent and maximum impact is on normal, and this is the bullet chart. Now pie grain, that is represent grain is for identifying patterns from the particular data set. Pie chart is pictorial representation of data we are having. And another thing is dashboard. Why dashboard? Dashboard is a collection of various charts we are having. There is little bit difference between static and dynamic dashboard. Static dashboard is a dashboard where we are not identifying the changes on the basis of the filters we are applying, with the calculated fields we are applying. We are not comparing the changes on the basis of filters and calculated field we are applying for. Okay. That is one part, that is dashboard, and another part is storyboard. We will come for it later on. Now, firstly, this is the dashboard, which I can say as dynamic dashboard. Why? Because we are trying to apply, or as we have already gone through, this is the bullet chart, and we have already gone through the changes on the basis of the calculated field we applied, grain we have chosen, and the changes we are able to see on the screen. This particular dashboard is presentation of DEC and planet. Okay. Now we will go for the next. This is pie chart. And for this grain I have chosen is planet Earth and Mars on the basis of orbital period. Okay, before moving forward, up to this, is there any query or question? Have you understood? Everyone among you, have you understood? Yes, anyone? Is there any question or query? Srujal?
No, ma'am.
Srujal, have you understood? Ishwari, have you understood? Anurag, Darshan, Karan, Dishan, Sanket. I will wait till everyone among them reply.
Yes, ma'am, I've understood.
Okay. Okay. In case there is no any query, then we will move forward. There is a grain. Name of grain is planet Earth and mass on the basis of orbital period. Now, the variations are on the basis of orbital period category. This is one of the column in my data set, orbital period category, and the variations of color are shown on the basis of that particular column. Okay, why pie chart? Pie chart is represented when we want to represent or we want to identify a impact of a particular piece with respect to the entire data set. And then pie chart is used, and that's why the pie chart is used in this case. And another type of chart is stacked chart, and for that the grain chosen is star and star types, and columns are all the columns which are related to the stars and the star type as well. All the columns which are related to the stars we have chosen. Okay, and the color variation is identified on the basis of star type. As you are able to observe, the white color is for, now blue color is for A type. This is the blue color for A type, and green color is for K type. And here are the amount. These particular amounts are there. Why? Because I dragged and dropped that star age in label, and that's why these particular values you are able to observe for. Okay, let us move forward. Once again, I have chosen a dashboard. Now this dashboard is representing the planet Earth and Mars on the basis of orbital period. This is the first chart, and this is the second chart, star and star types. Now, as you are able to clearly read, first dashboard is for DEC and planet. Second dashboard is for planet and star. Now let us move for the storyboard. Why storyboard? Storyboard is the sequential representation of dashboard, and it will create a sequence. Literally, it will create a sequence of dashboard for concluding a data set. Okay, I will conclude my data set with respect to the DEC and planet count and stars and star type and all the variations we will found. Okay, first is the histogram, and that is representing the DEC count. As a parameter is chosen, a histogram is chosen, and all the variations are represented, which you can observe on the screen. By bullet chart, it will set a target, particular target is set, and if the value is above that target, then also it will reflect. If the value is below that or achieving exactly to that target, it will also reflect. As you are able to see on the screen, I will wait till it reflects on the screen. The target set is average n stars is equal to 2. Okay, but in case it's exceeding the limit, that is average n star target is 3, it will also show the result, and it will set the boundaries on the basis of same. It will show the result if the target set is average n star is equal to 1, means it is setting all the boundaries with respect to n stars, average n stars. As I have mentioned, the entire data set is we will try to identify the changes on the basis of these two columns and stars and planets. Okay. Now the next sequence of storyboard is, firstly, the storyboard is for planet and star, and this is the first chart is representing a grain, that is planet Earth mass on the basis of orbital period, and second is star and star types. Okay, the variations we are able to observe on this. Now I will try to focus more on KPI. What is KPI? KPI is key performance indicator. What is key performance indicator? Key performance indicator is a thing which is focused on measures. Why measures? Why not dimensions? Because we want to conclude a data set, the variations in data set, the amount of variations in particular data set, amount of particular value achieved, amount of particular value not achieved, amount of loss, amount of average, all the things can be calculated on the measures. We cannot calculate on the all the things on the basis of dimensions, and that's why before approaching for the KPI, that is key performance indicator, we must focus on the measures which we have choose or which that tableau indicates on our chosen grain. Okay, just try to focus on the measures. Just try to focus on the measures. Measures are represented with which color, and dimensions are represented with which color? Yes, anyone? Color of measure will be, or color of measures is? Anyone among you? Generally, measures are represented with green or color? Green, very nice. And that's why if it's not showing in the chart as well, but we are in a position to easily identify them. In my pie chart, the measures are planet mass Earth and the planet radius Earth. Both are the measures in my case, and I will able to figure out the result on the basis of same. But the overall, for observing overall KPI, I will just focus on the measures. I will just try to identify the variations on the basis of measures I have chosen. Either I will keep the aggregate, just I have shown on the basis of bullet chart. I will choose a particular threshold and I will try to mark out the changes on the basis of same, and I will try to conclude my data set. This is the key performance indicator. For bullet graph, my key performance indicator is n stars, or the average of n stars. And I'm setting values. Average of n star is equal to 2. The value is below or exceeding, it will show. And this is the KPI in my case, key performance indicator. I can choose a KPI for a graph or for a dashboard. It is also possible to choose a KPI for a dashboard. It is also possible to choose a KPI for entire storyboard. It is also possible for conclusion. Okay. Now I will ask you certain questions. You all are expected to answer for the same. Okay. Bhargav. Bhargav, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Hello, hello,
Okay.
hello.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Bhargav, you will answer what is KPI and why to choose KPI.
Ma'am, I cannot answer this, ma'am. I lost my attendance, ma'am. Ma'am, I was not.
Okay. Riddhi,
Yes, ma'am.
what is KPI And why?
Ma'am,
Riddhi,
KPI is the
Riddhi, wait. There are two questions. What is
yes,
KPI and what will be the impact of KPI on my conclusion?
ma'am, KPI is a key performance indicator. It is focused on the measure.
Answer of second question.
Uh, Second question answer is just example like amount of losses, amount of choice, amount of achieves can be calculated by using the KPI. Hence we use here.
Very good. Anuj,
Yes, ma'am.
why why to use filters?
To filter out,
Elaborate with example. Why to use filters?
uh,
Use filters. Why filters? Plural. Srujal.
narrow down large data sets.
Huh?
To narrow down the data.
Narrow down the data, or for identifying certain range, for identifying
Uh,
patterns on the basis of certain range, we will apply the filter. Okay.
yes,
Now,
yes, yes.
Kashik, Kashish, Kashish, are you there? Kashish?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Kashish will conclude today's class. What have you learned in today's practical?
Ma'am, in today's class, I learned about grain chart, and then you showed different types of chart. For example, first we started with histogram. Why do we use histogram? We use histogram when we take one parameter on x-axis and one parameter on y-axis, and the grain we took for this was DEC count. Then similarly, we saw another types of charts. For example, a bullet chart. In bullet chart, we calculated a calculated field. We basically use calculated field when we want to provide a certain frequency कि हमें like इस पे कैलकुलेशन परफॉर्म करने हैं. तो हमने बुलेट फील्ड में कैलकुलेटेड फील्ड का यूज़ करके एक सर्टेन ये किया था, एक फ्रीक्वेंसी प्रोवाइड की थी, एंड उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमें रिजल्ट शो में हुए थे. देन फिर हमने हमारा पहला डैशबोर्ड क्रिएट किया था. Dashboard is nothing but the combination of two or more than two charts. So in our first dashboard, we showed histogram and bullet chart.
उसके आगे
उसके आगे फिर हमने पाई चार्ट देखा था. पाई चार्ट में जो हमने ग्रेन लिया था, it was planet Earth and mass on the basis of orbital period.
okay. Why to use storyboard?
Ma'am, storyboard, it is the combination of dashboards. Like basically conclude करने के लिए.
Okay.
एंड फिर लास्ट में हमने केपीआई के बारे में जाना था.
ओके, तो केपीआई क्या रहता है?
KPI इज नथिंग बट की परफॉर्मेंस इंडिकेटर. वो मेजर पे ही वर्क करता है, डायमेंशन पे वर्क नहीं कर सकता है बिकॉज डायमेंशन क्वालिटेटिव होता है. एंड KPI लास्ट में सारे मेजर्स को मतलब कंक्लूड करता है.
Very good, very good. Wonderful, wonderful. Excellent explanation. Very nice. Now the next one. Karan. Karan, are you there? Always remember, if I am announcing your name and you are not able to unmute self and you are not answering the questions, it means you will be treated as absent. Okay, Karan is just raising the hand. Karan, you are expected to unmute self and answer the questions. Anurag. Anurag. Don't raise your hand. You are expected to answer the questions. Karan and Anurag. The question is, what is grain? If you answer the question, then only you will be treated present for today's practical.
And can you repeat the question?
What is grain? Why grain? Okay, it's taking too much.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
It's taking too much time. If I am asking the question or asking me to repeat it, then you will search on the internet. It's clearly it shows your presence in the practical.
No, ma'am,
And that's
my
why.
mic has issue.
No worries. You both of you will be treated as absent in today's practical. No worries. Sanket.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In which condition can we choose a pie chart?
अगर हमें पूरे डेटा के रिस्पेक्ट में अगर किसी एक ग्रेन को अगर मतलब उसके रिस्पेक्ट में अगर हमको देखना है कि कितना उसका परसेंटेज है, तब हम पाई चार्ट को यूज कर सकते हैं.
Very good. Very nice. Wonderful. क्षितिज, stack chart कब इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं हम लोग? When to use stack chart? Kshitij? Okay. Kshitij will also treated as absent in today's practical. Sumit? Sumit?
Yes, ma'am.
When to use bullet chart?
Which chart, ma'am?
Bullet chart. Okay, Sumit will also treated absent in today's practical. Tanmay.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanmay, there are multiple questions for you. Firstly, what is KPI?
Ma'am, KPI is a key performance indicator.
Okay. What can be done with the help of KPI? Means why KPI?
Sorry, ma'am.
Why KPI?
Why means
What
why
can
do we use KPI?
huh,
Ma'am, we use KPI to
why do
measure
you
the
use KPI?
track success of a goal. Means if there is a we are from organization, then it shows the measure that how much we are closer to the success of our goal, achieving the analysis.
Very good. Why storyboard?
Why storyboard? Ma'am, so that we can combine the multiple dashboard and see one by one what is the final analysis.
Why
Ma'am, your
you
voice
must
is
be
not
able to okay.
cracking.
Why dashboard? Am I audible?
Hello?
Why dashboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Why dashboard?
Ma'am, so that it is used to display the important data in one place of many charts.
Okay. You can mute the mic.
Okay, ma'am.
Huh?
Hello, ma'am.
Anurag? Yes.
Ma'am, my mic was that time not working. Now I have reconnected. What was asked to me?
Voice which is coming, Anurag. Mute yourself or unmute the voice. Externally coming. Mute yourself. Mute. Anurag, mute self. And I always remember if you are at the situation or at the place where there is too much noise and then you are unable to attend or then you are unable to concentrate, then you are unable to focus, then try to avoid all such places for attending the classes. Okay. If your performance is down for certain practical, then the marks will get down for the particular class or particular practical, as I have already mentioned to you. Okay, it's really for achieving certain things, you must be able to focus and you must be able to decide where to focus and where not to get focused. Okay. Darshan, Dishan,
Yes, ma'am.
Darshan,
Yes, ma'am.
Dikshant, right?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Darshan, the first question to you is,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
you both will answer. First three questions will be answered by Darshan, and the last three questions or in I will choose Darshan or Dikshan. Okay. Uh, Darshan,
Yes, ma'am.
what is storyboard
Ma'am, your voice is
or
breaking.
why storyboard?
Hello.
Why storyboard? Why storyboard? Darshan,
Yes, ma'am.
your time is, you lost your time. Okay. Dikshan,
And storyboard basically brings all the dashboards together to help us like create a story-like picture of context and to analyze all of them together.
okay, why KPI?
Ma'am, because it
Dikshan,
helps us to track the progress of achieving our goals.
okay. Why charts?
Ma'am, charts help us to have a visual representation of all the data, which helps us to understand and compare them to each other in a relative manner.
Why grains?
And grains help
Dishant
us
will
to
answer.
grains basically give us like the basic information about our dashboard or our charts.
Wonderful. Very nice explanation. And Dikshant, really a very nice performance. When I'm asking a question, and then if you are able to answer with the proper sense, it reflects that if you are searching and answering, or you are answering with understanding. It's nice performance, Dikshant. Harshali,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Harshali, tell
Ma'am,
me the things you learned from today's practical. How many
I
things have
learned
you learned from today's practical?
I learned about the KPI
Hmm?
types of dashboards, board, and the charts, graphs, grains. That dashboard is the collection of charts, and storyboard is the collection of dashboards, which will help us to compute our data set.
Okay. Next, Rayan Sheikh.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am,
What you learned from today's practical?
ma'am, at the beginning, you talked about histograms and bullet charts, in which histograms, how you told how histograms are used, like to compare only one factor. Next, you talked about storyboards, like dashboards are collection of charts. Storyboards is a group of dashboards, and it also contains KPI. KPI, KPI stands for key performance indicator, which helps to make decisions by referring our future goals and all.
I hope, Riyan, you are not audible.
Am I audible, ma'am? Hello.
Yes, now you are audible.
Okay, so at the beginning of the lecture, you talked about histogram, in which you told how histogram is used to compare only one factor, like on each axis. You also talked about bullet points, about dashboards, storyboards, and KPIs, in which dashboards is a collection of chart, storyboard group of dashboards and KPIs, where KPIs stand for performance indicator, in which we can KPI helps to make quick decisions referring our future goals.
Okay.
Also about grain, in which we can identify and get an idea about the whole data set with a particular grain.
Okay. Riddhi,
Yes, ma'am.
I hope the turn is already covered. Okay. Nothing. Sanket, Riddhi already answered the questions before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sanket, uh, focus on KPI. What you learned, what is KPI, why KPI is needed.
So KPI is a key performance indicator, which is based on measures. Uh, we use it for better understanding of that data. अगर हमें उसमें से दे दो,
Srujal? Smita?
Yes,
Smita
ma'am.
Sabri. Focus on KPI.
So basically, KPI stand for key performance indicator. It's may focus on measure because amount of variation is included in measure, and using KPI we check goals achieve, यानी कि goals achieve हुए या नहीं है हम check करते हैं using KPI.
Okay. What is need of storyboard? Why storyboard?
So storyboard is a sequential representation of dashboard. It is easy to understand and it's a sequential representation.
Okay. Then very good, Smita. Srujal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Srujal will answer me. Identify what is the difference between measures and dimension.
The measures are quantitative and the dimensions are qualitative. If we take example of some YouTube video, so how the performance the dimensions are those which we can मतलब जो अपन कमेंट सेक्शन से पहचान सकते हैं कि वो उसकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसी थी, ऑडियंस को कैसे लगी, एंड द मेजर्स we can stand by the views of the video.
Okay. There is one more question. For KPI, shall we consider measure or shall we consider dimension?
In KPI, I think we should consider both, but I think measure would be मतलब उससे ज़्यादा रहेगा.
Okay. KPI के लिए, I will repeat, for the KPI, we just focus on measures. We will exclude the dimensions. The reason behind it is, in the KPI, we are expected to conclude a data set. And for concluding a data set, measures will have more impact rather than dimensions. Able to understand? With the help of dimensions, qualitative analysis is possible, but the quantitative analysis will have the impact more. And that's why for KPI, mostly we use the measures and we will try to avoid the dimensions. It's not the case that dimensions must not be included, but it will be impactful that yes, for the KPI, that is the routine practice to include the measures rather than dimensions. The reason behind it is it will be impactful whenever we will show the result to people, that if the profit is increased, suppose I am saying that profit is increased, then if I will tell the amount, the profit is increased with 10%, people will trust me. If I will show the profit is increasing in 10%, and if I will show the calculated field and I will show the result of that calculated field with the help of particular chart, people will trust, they will remember, they will try to implement, they will try to analyze, all the things will happen. And this helps us for conclusion which will be realistic. It will feel a realistic conclusion, and that's why for KPI we just focus on the measures rather than focusing on dimensions.
but the but the dimensions are considered, or dimensions can be considered with different aspect as well, but not in KPI. Qualitative analysis can also be done, but for the KPI we are expected to show the result to people. KPI is focused on, why KPI? To focus on calculations, and for calculations, conclusions, and for conclusion, calculations are important, and for calculations, measures are important. And that's why for KPI, that is usual and routine practice to always have focus on measures rather than dimensions. I hope it is crystal clear to everyone. Yes, Rujan? Okay. Okay. Yes?
मैम ये KPI है वो डेटा सेट पे डिपेंड करेगा क्या?
हाँ, डेटा सेट पे डिपेंड करेगा ना। जैसे कि मेरे केस में क्या था कि मेरा जो डेटा सेट था वो स्टार्स एंड प्लैनेट के बेसिस पे था एंड ऑर्बिटल एक्सिस, तो इसलिए मैंने मोर फोकस किया प्लैनेट पे एंड स्टार्स पे, तो मेरा पूरा कंक्लूजन ही उसी पे ही था। तो मेरे जो कैलकुलेटेड फील्ड्स थे वो भी वो 2 कॉलम्स लेके ही मैंने कैलकुलेट किए थे, और मैंने रिजल्ट भी वैसे ही शो करने की कोशिश करवा दी। वैसे ही आपके इसमें कितने परसेंट से बढ़ रहा है, कितने परसेंट से घट रहा है, समझो शेयर मार्केट का डेटा है किसी के पास, वो एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं, तो आज के इसमें शेयर मार्केट बढ़ गया, ऐसे मैंने सिर्फ बोल दिया तो कोई मुझ पे विश्वास ही नहीं करेगा। लेकिन मैं अगर ऐसा बोलूं कि शेयर मार्केट बढ़ा है इतने इतने पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट से, और ये पर्टिकुलर इसका इम्पैक्ट इतना है, so people will trust, right? And for observing and for analyzing all the things, calculated fields are needed, the dimensions are needed, measures are needed. We are expected to focus on certain grain by identifying certain grains, by identifying certain columns, by identifying certain measures and dimensions. We are expected to put certain calculations, and on the basis of that particular calculations, we are expected to observe the result of the particular thing. And whenever we are trying to identify the result, put the truth. If the results are matching, then say the results are matching. If the results are not matching, then identify the truth and put it in front of people. That results are not the results are not matching. You are expected to analyze and show the truth to people, or show the truth to everyone. That is the purpose of KPI. It's not mandatory that KPI must always valid. It's not mandatory that KPI must always show the positive things. No. In case of loss also, if I am having a certain business and due to certain things that business is in loss, then I must be able to justify my predictions, why I have predicted that my business will go to the loss, or why I have stopped that particular business due to this much particular amount of loss I beared, and that's why I stopped my business. This might be a conclusion. Means always remember, while choosing a KPI, it's not mandatory to have the positive conclusion always. Your KPI may give you the negative conclusion, your KPI may give you the positive conclusion, your KPI may give you the targeted value, your KPI may not give you the targeted value. It might be the case that you assume there will be the negative result, and your KPI is fulfilling with the certain amount of positive result. That positivity or that variation can also be shown with the help of KPI. So KPI plays various roles. That's why I said before, the KPI focused morely on the target set, verification of the target, verification and validation of the target set with respect to the certain amount of things. Firstly, and second thing is KPI will also be used for verifying the result, verifying the differences. In both the cases, we must focus on the KPIs, and that is important. I hope it is crystal clear now for everyone why we are choosing the measures in KPI, why not dimensions. That is the first case. Why KPI? That is the second case. and what will be the impact of KPI on your conclusion. That was the third case. Now, I hope all of you are crystal clear with all the 3 points which are related with KPI, and you all are expected to decide the KPIs for your particular data set. You all are expected to set certain calculated fields and observe the result of calculated fields on your graphs. That will be the dynamic graphs. Dynamic graph, KPI, their result, their analysis is expected in the project. That is mandatory for all of you. I hope it is crystal clear now. Yes, everyone. In case of query or question, you may ask. If you are not having any query or question, we can end the meet. Or if you if you will try in future that on your data set, and in future you face any trouble, then put the screenshot on the WhatsApp. I will try to resolve the question. That is also possible. Why? Because post finishing this practical, you will sit together, you will try to identify the grains, you will try to identify columns once again, which are more important. On the basis of KPI, you can reframe everything. Just you cannot reframe the your data set. Rest things can be reframed. I hope it is crystal clear. In any case, you can approach. Are you having any doubt? Anyone? Shall I end the meet? Yes, anyone?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.